The no-armed Chinese fella has the Mormon cult phone for the day. Yes, they've got tons and tons of folks committing treason as well as impersonating fraud. He's answering the phone, and little does he know that they're making documentaries left and right of his Mormon cult. Wire fraud and in-person fraud, but they're Mormons. It doesn't bother him. Anyway, Tommy is upset because, yes, this is July PhoneGate 2019. He's upset because he can't watch the Stooges on TV. He has to watch the real Stooges. Yes, it's a Senate subcommittee stuff on the TV, and Trump is before them, and he says, I was concerned about turning into one big Jonestown with all those Mormons running across our country, compromising in bed with those Muslims. And so I asked him, I asked YouTube, AT&T, I asked the Mormon cult, especially the doctor kind of folks with them. Again and again, I got the same thing. They were actively involved in compromising our security as nations. And the senator says, well, that's not what they said. And Trump says, well, I thought as much. That's why I took a page out of Stone Cold Melton's book. And he puts that phone down in front of him, and he says, I got it all on video and audio.
See a vapor trail? Actually, a few of them up there. Be on the side of those driving the tanks, the jeeps, the jets, the side of children and truth. Make a video of your hijacked call to me, Melton. Not one Flight 93 check call in over a decade of asking. Make videos of America's hijacked lifelines. Those praying to that 9/11 Muslim devil down below. You get the time and the date in your video, you got my number dialed. Randall Stevenson had bought Spectrum next door, and I hear his AT&T vehicles and his Spectrum vehicles having all kinds of car trouble lately. That car, karma. Make that video, whatever you get when you don't get me. Post. You got the time and the date in your video, you got my number dialed. You got PhoneGate. Randall Stevenson's bloody-handed PhoneGate gets his hands even bloodier. Aside from hijacking the lifelines to place the cowardly Hussein in our White House, gets him even bloodier. Altering those phone records to cover up his crimes. Get it on video. Your hijack call to me, time and date, number dialed. And yes, save that video for the Senate subcommittee looking into America's hijacked lifelines are a threat to our security as families and as a nation.
Here's Siren. 9/11, Flight 93, checking posting 5, trying to call me Melton. You want to know why America's lifelines are being hijacked when you do? All firefighters, all police, all soldiers, all Americans, all clergy. Make that video of your hijack call to me. Not one Flight 93 check call in over a decade of asking. And yes, get some justice for Mary's children on 9/11. Make that video. Whatever you get. When you don't get me. Or you can certify your mail as well. Make a video of it first. And yes, use those GPSs to find America's stolen mail warehouses. It takes just 5 minutes. To make that video of your hijack call to me and tell the world. Yes, this is what places the cowardly Hussein in our White House right after we got attacked by a whole lot of cowardly Husseins. And we need to protect America from that threat to our security that is America's hijacked lifelines. Do that. Call me up in front of every senator, get them weighing in on video about easily documented hijacked lifelines. Not one Flight 93 check in over a decade of asking. Make that video, post that video. And yeah, you can prop up this image, well, at the end of the month. I'm sure some folks can find it for you and do that kind of things, but you can also find those big files, put them on your desk. Have they're 4x6 photos, as I will prepare this at the end of this month, August. But yeah, have a laminated, what, 10 cents, 20 cents, you don't know where to shop. 4x6.5 or Justice for Mary's Children 9/11 on your desk, and somebody asks, oh, here you go. Have a big stack of them to hand out. Tell everyone. Make that video of America's hijacked lifelines. Post. Randall Stephenson's AT&T next door. Yeah, altered phone records after hijacking lifelines to place cowardly Hussein in our White House. Got his hands even bloodier, Randall did. Altering those phone records. Call them on that. Try to call me. All 150 million subscribers of AT&T services. You thought that phone worked slow in an emergency? Yeah, it's probably Randall's political, religious, business censorship. Get it on video. Time on your phone, number dialed, date in your video. And when Randall alters that video, alters those phone records. Yeah, you got his phone gate. AT&T's bloody-handed phone gate on video. Save it for the Senate subcommittee kind of stuff. 9/11, Flight 93, check and post and 5. You're trying to call me, Melton. You want to know when else America's lifelines won't be allowed to work? Not one Flight 93 check call in over a decade. You got the time, you got the date in your video, you got my number dialed. It's more than just our AT&T livelihoods. It's our AT&T lifelines. So get it on video. Whatever you get when you don't get me. All soldiers, you protect America. Make that video of America's high-tech lifelines right now. From that military base, from that fire station, from that police station, you make that video of your hijack call to me. Post. Here's Siren. 9/11, Flight 93, check and post in 5. You're trying to call me, Melton? You want to know why America's lifelines are being hijacked when you do? You got the time and the date on your video, you got my number dialed. You got AT&T's bloody-handed phone gate. Yeah, it's more than just our AT&T livelihoods when you can't reach me, a customer, and you don't know how many other customers you can't reach because you get that same boring thing, phone ringing, error message, business signal. It's more than just our AT&T livelihoods, so that whoever's the top of the business, whatever business you're in, can be at the top of your business. No, it's your AT&T lifelines. Time on your phone, number dialed. Randall Stephenson places cowardly Hussein in our White House right after 9/11. When we got attacked by a whole lot of cowardly Husseins. Then he gets his hands even bloodier, altering phone records to cover up his crimes. Get that on video. Time, date, my number dialed. Yeah, it doesn't do him much good. Let me call up all AT&T employees, get them when they just got home from the bar or the church. They've been doing their drugs. Randall Stephenson asked them to do something that turned their stomachs, off the books. Altering phone records of someone who needed a fireman or policeman or paramedic ambulance, perhaps. They don't make the 2.5 million Randall Stevenson makes. So call them. They'll tell you, try to call me, ask them, what do you know about this? They'll tell you what else Randall Stevenson's doing besides being that active part in America's Hijacked Lifeline. Get them screaming it out. Oh, a good idea. AT&T gave me the bought Spectrum to harass a Christian in a wheelchair. Park a fleet of noisemakers outside their home. Once again, those folks who don't make 2.5 million will tell you what Randall Stevenson in Dallas there is doing to compromise the security of America. Hear a siren. 911, Flight 93, checking post and 5. Trying to call me Melton. And you want to know why America's Lifelines haven't been working as you have tried to for the past decade plus. You got the time in your video, you got my number dialed. That right there is what's on the shirt. Yes, if the shirt's in the window there. Apartment 409. That means it's a hot summer and I'm rolling around without my shirt. Make that video if you hijack. Call to me 424-229-4140. Whatever you get when you don't get me, all Americans. Make that video if you hijack. Call. Be on the side of those driving the tanks, the jeeps, the jets, the side of children, truth, fire engine drivers, and helicopters. Police cars. Make that video if you hijack. Call to me right now. See a couple of fire engines. Checking post and 5. You're trying to call me Melton. Not one Flight 93 check call in over a decade of asking America to check their lifelines. Make a video if you hijack. Call to me. And yes, save it for the Senate subcommittee kind of stuff. You got the time on your phone, you got my number dialed, 424-229-4140. You got Hussein's and Trump's phone gate. AT&T's phone gate. If you don't stop their active part in America's Hijacked Lifelines, AT&T's bloody-handed Randall Stevenson, he's going to be around longer than both of them put together. Make a video of your hijack. Call to me right now. And their active part in America's Hijacked Lifelines. See you, Vapor Trail. Be on the side of those driving the tanks, the jeeps, the jets, the side of children and truth. The opposite side of those praying to that 9/11 Muslim devil down below. Not one Flight 93 check call in over a decade of asking. You got the time and the date. In your video, got my number dialed. I'm Melton. 424-229-4140. Make that video and see that phone you're making a video of as every child in America's Lifeline to the firemen, police, paramedics. Randall Stevenson, who bought Spectrum next door, hoping to get some free advertising with the handsome bald son of Carpenter Mary. Daddy Carpenter worked on Skyscraper's mom, Mary Ann. And yes, placed cowardly Hussein in her White House. Gets their hands bloody, hijacking America's Lifelines, and even bloodier, altering phone records to cover up their AT&T phone gate. Hear a siren, make sure you point out Susan Wojcicki, some Russian bitch with an attitude, hijacking America's Lifeline active in it. Make sure you post and repost all of my 3,000 plus 4x6 photos. And ask that bitch and all that work for her, why are you harassing a Christian in a wheelchair? Are you planning an invasion, a revolution, Susan? It's either that or the Muslim terrorists from abroad are literally on hand with high-tech toys pointing out how damn dangerous they and their Utah cult are. Pick your pick. Post and repost my imagery and ask Susan Wojcicki, why Can I reach Melton? What's your very active part in his harassment as a Christian? Be on the side of those driving the tanks, the jeeps, the jets, the side of children and truth. Not one Flight 93 check call in over a decade of asking you to check America's Lifeline, check your family's hijack lifeline. You got the time and the date in your video, you got my number dialed. You got AT&T's bloody-handed phone gate. Remember to post. And yeah, try to call me in front of you. Senator, mayors, governors, reporters, and ask them, why aren't you doing your job? Why do I have to do it for you? That's a threat to our security. All senators, tell them, look into this. These are folks who are compromising our security as a nation. And it's easily documented. Hussein's and Trump's phone gate. July 2019. Remember, when you try to call me, you get that boring thing, phone ring and error message, business signal. If you don't get that, and I haven't talked to one person yet on the phone about this imagery, about the Flight 93 checks, when you get one of those, huge number of folks with the Mormon code answering the phone, committing fraud openly, make sure you save the video if you get somebody on the phone. It is a danger to our country, a danger to our families. The Mormon cult's active part in America's hijacked lifelines, and with the folks from the Mideast Muslims there as well, doing that fraud thing, that treason thing. Get it on video for the Senate subcommittee. Here's Siren 911 Flight 93 checking posting 5. Make that video whatever you get when you don't get me. Post. Not one Flight 93 check call in over a decade of asking. No certified mail, no non-certified mail. No FedEx, no UPS is gonna mail me something. Make a video of it first, and yes, use those GPS things. If it's got my address on it, it's going to be stolen for religious persecution reasons. Same way as placing cowardly Husseins in our White House, right after we got attacked by a whole lot of cowardly Husseins. So get it on video. Every time you hear that siren, remind someone else to make that video, post that video. Those praying to the 9/11 Muslim devil down below and hijacking your call to me. Someone who just doesn't like the Muslims. Well, a lot of folks in America have that reason because of 9/11. But no, pick up that phone, see that it's not just that. I see these 4 sets of folks active in America's hijacked lifelines every day. Make that video. Post that video, whatever you get when you don't get me. AT&T's bloody-handed phone gate for one. Yeah, they bought Spectrum next door to harass a Christian in a wheelchair. And you, that's your family's lifeline. If you're one of those 150 million subscribers to AT&T, and you hear that backup noise, and that's a closed parking lot, so it is simply harassing a Christian in a wheelchair. You hear that backup noise, you call up one of those AT&T employees, and you try to call me with them on speakerphone or in person. Yeah, they don't all make $2.5 million like Randall Stevenson. So get them when they're drunk, get them when they're high, get them when they just had a fight with their girlfriend, when they've been overworked by Randall, and they'll tell you when else, what else Randall and AT&T are doing to get their hands bloody placing cowardly Husseins, for example. And then to get, hijacking lifelines, then to get their hands even bloodier, altering phone records to cover up their crimes. It's easy to do. Document AT&T's bloody-handed phone game. Time and date in your video, my number dialed. You got religious censorship that can place a cowardly Hussein in our White House right after we got attacked by a whole lot of cowardly Husseins. Get it on video. That's your family's hijack lifeline. That's America's compromised security. A vapor trail or two. Be on the side of those driving the tanks, the jeeps, the jets, side of children, and truth, the opposite side of the devil person, the knife in the back there, with all the devil bonds of the LA Department of Water and Power, Cheryl Bond with his Mideast wife, and that's my sister there. Personal knife in the back with her gay husband in Lake Charles, Louisiana. And this is what I'm joining. All the Lori, some a little ranty, but get me my disciples so I don't have to do that. I can let the disciples do that. Oh, damn, that's just unreal. That's over the top. That's Lori and Brady Bond right there. Praying to the 9/11 devil down below. Get it on video, because it affects your family's lifelines. Can't reach me right now. You have no idea when else that phone won't be allowed to work. She can reach me by phone. You need to find out what she knows. That's her number right there, so that you can get your phone to work in an emergency. Should cowardly Hussein placing censorship affect your family's lifeline in an emergency. See a vapor trail or two or three? Be on the side of those driving the tanks, the jeeps, the jets, the ambulances, the police cars, the fire engines, the side of kids and truth. Make that video if you hijack call to me, not one flight 93 check, call. And over a decade of asking, you got the time and the date in your video. You got my number dialed. You can make it with your phone, like I'm making this video with my phone, of whoever's right there next to you. Takes 5 minutes. Document America's hijack lifelines and save the video for the Senate subcommittee kind of stuff. And yes, call me up in front of mayors, governors, senators. Ask them, why aren't you looking into that? Here's Siren. 9/11, Flight 93, checking post in 5. Make that video of whatever you get when you don't get me melting. Not one Flight 93 check call and over a decade of asking. Make the video, post the video. Whatever boring thing you get when you don't get me, not gonna be boring. You need to fire and replace paramedics. Money out of your pocket every day. And yes, that's a Chinese kind of censorship. Yeah, it means boring. Because you get that phone ringing, error message, busy signal. But yes, when you're calling up countless other customers, and you get that boring thing. Phone ringing, error message, busy signal. That's money out of your pocket. Make that video. The lifeline censorship is the worst kind of censorship, so get it on video. Post. Time and date in your video, my number dial. You got AT&T's bloody-handed phone case. Word enough about to alter phone records, cover it up, so get it on video for the Senate subcommittee kind of stuff. Here's Siren. 9/11. Flight 93 checking posting 5. I'm Melton. I've been asking America to check their lifelines for over a decade, and I've yet to get that first call. You got the time and the date in your video. You got my number dialed. You got AT&T's bloody-handed phone game. Bought Spectrum next door to harass a Christian in a wheelchair. Well, growing a new paralyzed medical research being passed by. A lot of folks praying to the 9/11 Muslim devil down below. Get them on video doing that. AT&T, Mormon cult folks, Muslim cult folks, YouTube. Time on your phone, my number dialed. Post whatever you get when you don't get me. See a vapor trail? Be on the side of those driving the tanks, the jeeps, the jets. Side of children and truth. Not one plate 93 check call. And over a decade of asking, I'm Milton. John Milton Brady. Make that video, you got the time and the date in your video as well as my number called. Whatever boring thing you get, phone ringing, error message, busy signal. Yeah, you get a lot of folks praying to the 9/11 Muslim devil down below. Whatever you get, not going to be boring. If you need firemen, police, paramedics, it's money out of your pocket every day. Your AT&T livelihood, so get it on video. Be on the side of those driving the tanks, the jeeps, the jets, the side of the children and truth. 9/11 Flight 93, check and post and fire. Again, trying to get started on this. The idea will be to have a nice GIMP with all those backgrounds, and I choose which one I want, but I gotta have them a certain size. Remember, when you hear that siren, make that video of America's hijacked lifelines. Not one Flight 93 check call in over a decade of asking. You got the time on your phone, you got my number dialed, you got phone gate. All Americans, all clergy, it's Sunday. Make that video of whatever you get when you don't get me. You got the time, you got my number dialed, you got the date. And Randall Stevenson next door, worried enough about his crimes of hijacking lifelines to place cowardly Husseins in our White House. Worried enough about that to alter phone records covered up. Getting his hands even bloodier. Make that video, whatever you get when you don't get me. Let's save it for the Senate subcommittee. No, it's that one. See a vapor trail? Be on the side of those driving the tanks, the jeeps, the jets, the side of children and truth. Make that video of your hijack call to me, Milton. Not one Flight 93 check call in over a decade of asking. Make that video, whatever you get when you don't get me, all American. Oh, even some of those folks. Make that video, whatever you get when you don't get me. And yes, this is Saints, September Saints 2. You can find on that OneDrive right there, I think. SoChem at Live. Yeah, get program. If you can download, you get all the choices of different background. Check it out. And remember to make that video of your hijack call to me. 424-229-4140. Folks, it's a GIMP program. Emergency lifeline. Emergency hotline. They are a Muslim company threatening in front of them with one of their tenants. Teresa something or other, regional manager, representation. Enrique Vergara, apartment. Terrace apartment. Call them 24/7. Parker police are noisemakers outside their homes. They love noise harassment. They are harassing a Christian in a wheelchair because I've been telling the truth about their company, Solari Enterprises. Also call up all cops of California. Ask them, when else will your phone not be allowed to work before you come out here as a tourist? You tried to call me. You can't reach me, and more of LAPD. I can't call more. You got the bizarre Muslim shriek. I got this man I'm calling to complain about who is laying in wait for me as I go to get food. I've got him threatening. I've got the manager, Shauna, Enrique Vergara, Teresa, regional manager, not doing the damn job. You need to find out what else, because I often hear Iraqi, Taliban, and ISIS mentioned at this apartment complex. You need to know what the very Muslim folks from down below and elsewhere in the apartment complex are doing that affects you. Besides your family's lifeline not working when you try to call me. They've seen how crazy he is, laying in the wait and then screaming at me.
Can you do anything to protect me?
Reminded me of Louisiana and the Devil Bonds. Lori, personal knife in the back. They're raised. They got the 7-11 married on the 7th of September coming up. And, yeah, the 11th was 9/11 that year. I don't know what you're trying to do, Solari Enterprises. If you want me to move out, show me a place where a man is not threatening me. A Christian in a wheelchair. Can you do that?
Please do something about that.
What are you involved in? Invasion? Revolution? What is the reason you are harassing me with the man down below, Solari Enterprises? Call up Trump, call up all the... Maybe they're still running off the Cowardly Hussein stuff. Call up them, ask, why are you harassing a Christian in a wheelchair? When else will my phone not be allowed to work because of what you're doing? All soldiers, you protect America. Protect us from Solari Enterprises and those dangerous Muslims on American soil with the Mormon cult. Do that. It's unreal. I don't know. The man's been beating on the door during the time I've been here. He's laid in wait across the street. Solari Enterprises, Enrique Vergara, Teresa. I left the regional manager. I've left messages with both of them, countless, with Solari Enterprises T-Terrorist line, whoever's been the manager at the time. Can you call up Solari Enterprises and get them to stop harassing a Christian in a wheelchair, please? Here's Siren. 911.93, checking post and 5. Trying to call me in Melton. Well, I know America's lifelines are being hijacked when you do. Get on video, not one flight 93 check call, and over a decade of asking a lot of folks praying to the 9/11 devil down below. Get it on video. Do a little intel for America. Get them a little angry, and they'll tell you exactly what else they're up to besides an active part of America's hijacked lifelines. Oh. AT&T bought Spectre to harass a Christian in a wheelchair. It's a closed parking lot and they often have those noisemakers going. Make that video. Time on your phone, my number dialed. And all the AT&T, all employees, what do you know about this? When else will my phone not be allowed to work? What's your part in it? Those who don't make $2.5 million like Randall Stevenson, they'll tell you exactly what he's up to. Get on video. That's not a furniture company that affects our lifeline. Time on your phone, number dialed. You got the kind of Cowardly Hussein censorship of our lifelines that placed a Cowardly Hussein in our White House right after we got attacked by a whole lot of Cowardly Husseins with 9/11. Get Randall on video being an active part in America's Hijacked Lifelines post. Oh, all Muslims, Solari Enterprises as well. Mormon cult, of course, and Chinese are the root of all evil. Get them yelling out what else they might be planning. Another Pearl Harbor. Oh, they're already doing that with the phones. Make a video of that. True. Be on the side of those driving the tanks, the jeeps, and the jets, the side of children and truth, the opposite side of AT&T bought Spectre to arrest a Christian in a wheelchair. And all those praying to the 9/11 devil down below. Get on video. Post. Whatever you get when you don't get me melting. Not one Flight 93 check. In over a decade of asking. AT&T's bloody-handed phone gate. Get it on video. Here is 9/11 Flight 93. Check and post in 5. Not one Flight 93 check call in over a decade of asking. Get the time, get the date in your video, get my number dialed, and save the video for the Senate subcommittee. Looking into America's dangerously hijacked lifelines with lots of participants either from outside the United States or getting paid by folks outside the United States. It's a threat to our security as families and as a nation. So make that video of America's hijacked lifelines right now. Post. Be the reporter. Trail. Be on the side of those driving the tanks, the jeeps, the jets, the side of children and truth. Make a video. Of every California official from the top of the state troopers to county to city to the mayor to the governor to Solari Enterprises actively harassing a Christian in a wheelchair, force every Mormon cult in California. Cheryl Bond with the Department of Water and Power. Make that video of America's hijacked lifelines. See that phone as every child in America's lifeline being hijacked that you're making a video of, and see those folks not doing anything about the harassment from the apartment down below with the Mormon cult, Muslim cult for 2 years, 3 months. See them as what they are, treasonous, a threat to our security. Get on video. Post. 7, 9/11, Flight 93. Check and post in 5. Make that video. Whatever you get when you don't get me. Not one Flight 93 check call in over a decade of asking. Make that video. Post that video. Get a little justice for Mary's children in 9/11. Whatever boring thing you get when you don't get me. It's prepared as a 4x6 photo. I'm working on last month's and I decided to put what I designed the 1st of August 2019 in there. Whatever boring thing you get, it's not going to be boring if you need the firemen, police, paramedics, or see that phone is all kids. Lifeline to the firemen, police, paramedics. Not going to be boring if they need the firemen, police, paramedics. And they're getting that cowardly Hussein placing hatred. Oh, I'm not a fan of the Oriental buffoon guy in there now, but yeah, be a fan of truth. Make that video, whatever you get when you don't get me. You got the time, you got the date, you got my number dialed, you got phone gate. AT&T, Randall Stevenson, getting his hands bloody, hijacking for religious reasons first, placing the cowardly Hussein in our White House, and then, yes, altering phone records to cover up his crimes. He wouldn't have to do that. Oh, bought Spectrum. To harass a Christian in a wheelchair, telling the truth about America's hijacked lifelines for over a decade without getting that first 9/11 Flight 93 check call. Make that video. See that vapor trail. Be on the side of those driving the tanks, the jeeps, the jets, the side of children and truth. Get that video of the time on your phone, date in your video, and yes, it is Senate subcommittee kind of stuff. It's evening news kind of stuff. You just got to show the senators in the evening news how to do their jobs. Do that. You got the time on your phone, you got my number dialed. You got phone gate. Tell everyone else to make that video if they're hijacked call to Melton. John Melton Brady, 4260 Eagle Rock Boulevard, apartment 409, Los Angeles, California 90065. Make a video of religious censorship that affects our lifelines. Post. Tell everyone else to do the same. 911 Flight 93, check and post and pop. Not one Flight 93 check call in over a decade of asking. I'm Melton. Make that video, whatever you get, when you don't get me. You got the time on your phone, you got my number dialed. You got PhoneGate, AT&T's bloody-handed PhoneGate. Well, let me see if I can pull up the new one. Remember to post and repost my imagery. I'm Melton. John Melton Brady. Yes, growing a new pair of eyes there. Medical research being passed by. And yes, a whole bunch of Saints imagery. Check it out. saints-image.blogspot.com. Print them out as 4x6 photos. And if it'll pull up, I'll show you the Old English version of that red, white, and blue stuff and the yeah, we got it on the windrow. And I'm not sure where my 4x6 went, but it is a 4x6. Oh, that's probably in here. Make that video if you're trying to call me. 424-229-4140. Don't forget to post to YouTube. I've been posting for over a decade. Flight 93 check imagery. Yeah, AT&T. Yes, their hands bloody. Hijacking America's lifelines to place a cowardly Hussein in our White House. Right after we got attacked by a whole lot of cowardly Husseins. Now, no, I'm not a fan of the Oriental Russian guy in there now. And from what I googled, Susan with YouTube is a Russian herself, and also went to Harvard. And I hear who cowardly Hussein and his dad went there too. You don't have to know anything about that. Make that video if you had your call to me and post to YouTube. Post and repost all of this imagery. This is the white border there is exactly 4x6. Post and repost. And tell everyone you know to do the same. Call up all employees of YouTube, all employees of AT&T, all Mormon cult folks, all Muslim cult folks. Yeah, you know about the Muslim missionary efforts with 9/11 and the Mormon cult folks casing the neighborhood when they only went home with the kids after school. So be a part of the Mormon, Muslim, AT&T, Chinese, and YouTube. Watch, call list. And remember to post to YouTube and many other places. Well, look for my links Excel. It's got about everything. Hours and hours and hours of last year, 2018, and half of this year. Hit those links, make the video, and that's your business on YouTube being hijacked as you have 20 folks making the videos of them going to that link on that links Excel or wherever it's at, and it still says 0 views or 1 view. That's Susan's cowardly Hussein placing. It needs to be pointed out because that's dangerous, folks. Placing in our White House when yeah, we should have good leaders in there instead of cowardly Hussein placing right after we got attacked by a whole lot of cowardly Husseins. Do that, and yes, make that video. Post and repost your hijack calls video and my imagery as well. Print out a whole bunch of 93 check. 4x6, plenty of it over the past decade. It's my AT&T livelihood, yours as well, because whatever boring thing you get, not gonna be boring if you need the firemen, police, paramedics. Money out of your pocket every day. So enjoy my 4x6 tabletop art, 4x6s, yes. Print them out like your family's photos. And post and repost. I got a lot of imagery that reads comment, and I don't have one comment yet about this Taliban torsos. My fun fiction, the military pit bull project kind of stuff. It all disappears. My funny son of a carpenter and Mary stuff, it all disappears when you try to call me and your family's lifeline is hijacked. And Susan of YouTube there, 400 million, is that what she's worth? She is active in hijacking America's lifelines, compromising our security as a nation and as families and as individuals. So get Susan's crimes on video. Save it for the Senate subcommittee and post and repost to YouTube and many other sites. Why are you endangering America with your hatred of Christianity and truth? Susan.